That's a strong African proverb right there that talks about listening to advice. It's good to have you join us on The Conversation, showing on your digital first Pan-African news network, where we'll bring you informative, educative and entertaining stories from across Africa. My name is Merciful Ajinomo. Before we bring you the big story of today, let's bring you updates from across Africa. We begin with Rwanda, where Rwandan prosecutors have filed an appeal against the verdict handed to Paul Rusesabagina, a one-time hotel manager portrayed as a hero in a Hollywood film about the 1994 genocide. And now to Kenya, President Uhuru Kenyatta announced the lifting of a nationwide curfew that has been in place in Kenya since March 2020 to curb the spread of the coronavirus pandemic. And then Ibrahim Emmanuel Rotich, husband and prime suspect in the murder of two-time world 10,000 meters bronze medalist Agnes Tirop, has admitted to killing her before he fled her Eton home. And that's it on development across Africa. Before we bring you the big story, let's look at updates, COVID-19 updates from across Africa. It's still the conversation. Don't forget you can be a part of our social media community. Follow us across all our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at TOS TV Network, and also stay updated on our website www.tostvnetwork.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube page as well. It's the big story, the crux of the conversation, and this morning our focus is on EndSARS Memorial. Protesters remain resilient. Of course, it's the big story, and it's got a lot of people talking about it in Nigeria and, of course, across the globe. And before we talk about it, let's bring you this short package from one of our reporters.
iPhone X gone. We ain't robbing, we ain't stealing. What's the issue?
October 2020. A youth-driven anti-police brutality demonstration shook Nigeria.
Police brutality!
The protest, which grew from social media campaigns after a video went viral of a man allegedly killed by SARS operatives, snowballed into a nationwide protest in a matter of days. Triggered by the excesses of the now disbanded Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, notorious for cruelty against young Nigerians, the effect of the EndSARS protest soon grabbed global attention. Although SARS activities and general issues of police brutality were the core of the movement, the protest became a platform for demanding an all-round reform against insecurity, corruption, economic woes, and general malady in the government.
Let them shoot, let them shoot. No problem.
October 20th, 2020. An albeit peaceful protest at Lekki Tollgate, venue for the Lagos protest, turned bloody when soldiers shot to disperse peaceful protesters who had gathered there for days. According to Amnesty International, at least 56 people, including police officers, died across the country during the protest. Today, 1 year after the Lekki Tollgate shooting, many young Nigerians returned to the streets to honor the memory of those who gave their lives for this cause and to remind the government of the 545 demands, saying nothing has changed since the EndSARS protest in 2020.
I'm here this afternoon to show my own concern and support, and then also to remind the government that they keep denying the fact that people were killed, innocent youths were killed. There are records, there are facts. You can't run away from this forever, you know. Even if it takes the next 100 years, justice will still have its course. Even if the name EndSARS is being scrapped, it's just a nomenclature, we still have the same officers in the same police uniform, brutalizing innocent Nigerians. We're not saying they should not go after criminals, but all we are saying is identify those who are criminals and ensure that innocent Nigerian youths are not made scapegoats for the crime of others, because that is what it is right now.
We lost our friends some time ago, this time last year, and today we are out here. The government have deployed a lot of security operatives to come and clamp down on this, but our voice sinking in one, our effort put in one, we will not go down. We won't go down without a fight, and we must win. If we don't win today, we keep fighting until we win.
Since EndSARS last year, police brutality has not ended. In fact, the last time we had a protest here was May 31. We were brutalized by the police, shot at, actually, in this same place. So it's somehow poetic that we are here again. And if not for the fact that there were pressmen here today, maybe we would have been shot again today. And we are not going to stop coming out for protests like this. We are asserting our right to protest. Every society deserves the freedom to dissent. People do not have to have the same opinion just because they live in the same geographical contraption. They don't. Everybody deserves the right to their own opinion, and they deserve a voice to speak out.
Real change and broad structural reform of security forces demanded by the protesters remain elusive, as incidents of torture in security facilities across the country is still being recorded. The quality of lives of Nigerians has depreciated in the last 1 year, while no improvement has been recorded in the funding or quality of the Nigeria Police Force.
With me in the studio to discuss this matter, this issue, is Felix Benga Adetowubo. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing?
Fine.
Good. We saw the video, and it's 1 year after the EndSARS protest of October 20th, 2020, and now this is 2021. You know, there's a memorial, and we've seen that youths are still resilient. They are still calling for what they've been calling for, the 5 key points, the agenda and everything. What can you say of everything that's happened so far?
Thank you very much once again for having me. It's quite unfortunate that what happened last year happened. And sincerely, it will keep ringing in our memory and in our mind forever. And because that particular protest overwhelmed our Black Lives Matters that happened in the US. So for you to know how enormous it was. So it's something we cannot just wish away. Although we are hearing different things like nothing really happened, nobody was killed, nobody was injured. But I'm telling you, with what we've seen, even with the report, you know, of what happened at the end of the day, we will see that this has its own history in the annals of this country. So we should just, well, what I just feel that we should do about, thank God that the report, yesterday they said they've submitted, I think 2 days ago, they submitted the report, you know, from various panels that were put together by different states, ordered by the federal government. Although some states are still saying that they are not the ones to pay those compensations that is the federal government that will do, but we thank God at least Lagos State are really doing something. I think over 400 million naira to be disbursed, you know, to those who were involved in all those things. But the problem is this: why are the police denying, you know, being part of that? I don't want to call it massacre. Let's leave the word massacre. Being part of what happened in the first place. Are we building institutions, or do we have institutions that don't have regard for human right or human life or human dignity? Because if you look at everything that happened at that time, it was like repressing human being, repressing the dignity of humans, and we're supposed not to be so. Police are supposed to protect, the military are supposed to protect, but why are they the ones putting us into all these things we are going through? And if we look at it very well, the youth are trying to send a message to the government. And for the president to have stayed too long before talking, in fact, it was not only the EndSARS that even came up, the other hashtag came up, where is Buhari, if you remember. They were expecting him to talk. The youth were expecting him to talk, and all we were expecting there was that he would come out and like, don't worry, I'll see to what you're asking for, and before you know it, everybody will go. Nobody is asking for too much from the government.
So in one sentence, in just one sentence, are you of the opinion that the protest should continue, even with the various news we've seen, with things that have been happening? Even yesterday, we saw a report before now of some people being harassed by the said police operatives. Do you support the protest to continue?
Protest is part of democracy. We can't take it away. what the law had already given to the Police Establishment Act 2020 stipulates very well, section 83 sub 4, that if anyone wants to protest, just let the police know. Then the police is to protect. Police is not to determine if you as a citizen is to protest or not. Oh. That's not their job. That's not their duty. Their duty is to protect. Then the question we need to ask ourselves, what happened that time? How did police allow it to degenerate to what they are claiming? Because they said that it was hijacked. How did they allow it to degenerate when you are supposed to protect these people? So that is the question that they need to answer.
All right. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you on the studio, and we look forward to more conversations regarding this and seeing how this unfolds. And we trust that we'll give you the update as they come. Thank you for staying tuned to the conversation. Don't forget, you can be a part of our social media community. Follow us across all our social media platforms that is displayed on your screen. Thank you again for joining us. I am Merciful Ajinomo. See you tomorrow and stay safe.